The narrative unfolds as Damien, a slick and charming executive, treats a woman to a lavish breakfast, ordering one of everything because he doesn't know her preferences. He even arranges overnight dry cleaning for her dress. He playfully jokes about her once taking his virginity, which she laughs off. Soon after, Damon arrives at a private island owned by Lewis, an old Oxford classmate. However, the narrator ominously hints that Damon is about to face his comeuppance. While Damon boasts about the extravagant surroundings, Lewis focuses on business. Fred, Lewis's associate, inquires about a female creative director, prompting Lewis to explain that the Atlas board wants a woman for the role. To save face, Damon falsely claims they promoted someone the previous week, though he immediately amends the timeline to that very afternoon. Amused, Lewis reveals his intention to make Damon the next CEO of Atlas, leaving him ecstatic. Returning to the office, Damon instructs his sharp assistant Ruby to compile a list of female creatives for an immediate promotion. Moving alphabetically, Ruby selects Alexandra Fox first. Meanwhile, Alex, a diligent creative at Atlas, is manipulated into taking on extra work. Ruby informs her that Damon wants to discuss a promotion. Overwhelmed, Alex tears up, thinking her Guinness campaign has finally been recognized, though Ruby counsels her against showing emotion to others. Later, Damon calls his mother, feigning remembrance of her birthday while secretly asking Ruby what gift she bought on his behalf. At the family gathering, Damon greets his sister Sunny and her rowdy children, charms his mother, and announces his impending CEO status. His mother teases that he has no one special to share his success with. Concurrently, at Alex's home, her daughter Charlie reads the Guinness pitch aloud and mentions that her father is spending all his resources on a woman named Tina. When Alex downplays the promotion, Charlie urges her to stand up for herself, an assertion Alex insists she already practices, though her daughter remains skeptical. The following day, Damon arrives at the office, flirting in the elevator before greeting Felicity, the veteran receptionist. Austin, a fellow creative, congratulates Damon, mentioning that his Guinness strategy succeeded, while a tiny employee named Glenda gets shoved aside in the bustle. Ruby reminds Damon that Alex is waiting, though he has no idea who she is. Faking familiarity, Damon showers Alex with empty praise before opening a creative meeting focused on the female market. When Ruby asks if he hit on Alex, Damon jokes that she is 20 years too old for him, claiming women simply want to feel heard. Alex tries to correct him, but the room laughs her off. Austin proposes a sexist foam mustache advertisement, and when Alex objects to linking alcohol with violence, Damon hijacks her point, presenting it as his own alongside an idea featuring men dressed as women ordering beer. Alex reluctantly calls the concept incredible, but after overhearing Austin dismiss her as a diversity prop, she confronts Damon about using her for optics. Damon retorts that she is getting a free ride based on her gender, claiming straight white men have it hardest now. When Alex calls him a misogynist, he scoffs, threatens his future dominance as CEO, and tells her to leave. She quits on the spot, and Damon mocks her, attributing her departure to emotional weakness. As the confrontation escalates, Alex urges him to practice empathy. Damon moves to fire her, but an abrupt force knocks him unconscious. He wakes up on a sidewalk surrounded by concerned women who tell him to look after his pretty face. Disoriented, Damon stumbles back into Atlas, mocking Felicity's clothing under the assumption that everyone is wearing costumes. He announces Alex's resignation only for Alex to appear in the doorway, clearly running the establishment. Ruby and Alex laugh as they escort him out. Fred mentions the title of male creative director, and Damon realizes to his horror that Felicity is now the CEO. Stranded on the street, unable to hail a taxi, he returns to an unfamiliar home where he discovers books titled Harriet Potter. Television news reports men protesting for reproductive rights. At his parents' house, his nephews beg him to braid their hair, a task his brother-in-law Chris happily assumes, while his father, wearing an apron, weeps over homemade mayonnaise and expresses a desire to see Damon's mother walk him down the aisle. Desperate to wake from this inverted nightmare, Damon tries headbutting objects. A stranger on the street, identifying himself as the Pigeon Man, approaches and reveals he is also from the real world, having been trapped there for 9 years. He mentions a previous captive named Marcus who managed to return, explaining that Damon must climb to the top of his company to escape. Finding out a receptionist runs Atlas, Damon figures the task will be easy. The next morning, Damon wakes up battling an unfamiliar cat. Meanwhile, the news broadcasts that Saudi Arabia now permits men to drive. Pigeon Man wishes him luck, and Fred warns him against doing anything foolish. Damon attempts to charm Felicity in her office, but she barely recalls his name and is busy meeting with Glenda, the board chair. After being dismissed following a bizarre promotion pitch, Damon joins a creative meeting where Alex proposes a Guinness wine campaign, earning immediate applause. Whenever Damon tries to speak, the women interrupt and mock him as an irrelevant onlooker. Alex briefly allows him the floor before cutting him off with a successful tagline, telling him to relax and calling him emotional, while a colleague suggests his mood is hormonal. Alex warns him that disruptive behavior will result in exclusion. Later, Alex vents to Felicity about the office dynamics, while Felicity heads home to curb her partner Jonathan's spending. Remaining at a bar, Alex smoothly offers to buy drinks for two men. Meanwhile, a frustrated Damon complains to Sonny about feeling invisible, asking how to secure a promotion. Sonny bluntly states that no one promotes unappealing men, advising him to groom, exercise, and dress better. Swallowing his pride, Damon accepts her help. Chris measures him for a push-up testicle bra, and a nurse recommends liposculpture and hair removal. Though he refuses penile fillers, Damon agrees to the rest. A transformed Damon struts confidently down the street, ignored by men in a spin class, but catcalled by construction workers. At the office, Alex compliments his appearance, which he casually attributes to just rolling out of bed. During a Guinness business lunch, Damon tries to join the table, but the client Harry announces he is leaving Atlas, calling Damon unqualified and overly emotional. Alex deftly reframes the Guinness campaign as an invitation to relax, securing Harry's enthusiasm. Later, Felicity invites Damon to her home. Unsure of the ethics, Damon asks Sonny if trading favors for advancement is acceptable. She confirms it is sexual harassment, yet he goes anyway. At her apartment, Felicity calls him delicious and pours drinks, while Damon complains about being marginalized as a man. Felicity hands him a cowboy costume, threatening to make his career incredibly difficult if he doesn't comply. Damon hilariously plays along, but after the performance, Felicity disappears. The next day, a funeral reveals she died suddenly. Damon laments it as the worst day of his life because she owed him a promotion, admitting to a colleague that he did something shameful for nothing. Austin then reveals that every man in the office had been sleeping with Felicity as well. With the CEO position vacant, Pigeon Man suggests they become roommates, but Damon refuses, plotting instead to crash Glenda's exclusive board retreat. Damon arrives at the retreat, but his name is missing from the guest list. He spots his old friend Lewis working as a butler and rallies him with an appeal to male solidarity. Lewis sneaks him inside, where Alex is already present, confident the CEO job is hers. At dinner, Damon toasts Felicity and flatters Glenda, proposing that Atlas hire its first male CEO, though Glenda ignores the pitch. When the pianist disappears, Damon seizes the opportunity to deliver a show-stopping performance, earning enthusiastic applause. Glenda, mistakenly calling him Diego, invites both Alex and Damon for after-dinner drinks, challenging Alex to a drinking contest while offering Damon a small glass of rosé. Despite Alex's warnings, Damon and Glenda hit the bar hard. Glenda, now calling him David, eventually collapses from exhaustion. Alex admits Damon holds his liquor well, and they share a genuine laugh. As Damon and Lewis carry Glenda out, they accidentally bump her head on the doorframe, prompting a joke about breaking her neck. The next morning, a determined Alex vows to defeat Damon with a flawless presentation. Glenda opens the pitch session, and Damon volunteers to go first, delivering a smooth speech about bold change capped off with a butterfly trick that charms Glenda completely. However, Alex's phone rings mid-pitch with news that her daughter chipped her teeth. Damon offers assistance, secretly calling Sonny to pretend to be London's top dentist. Alex thanks the board but leaves for the emergency, cleverly requesting that Damon accompany her to facilitate matters. In the car, a tire punctures. While Alex scrambles to change it, she asks Damon for help, but he cheerfully admits he has no idea how. As her phone continues to ring, Alex explains that Charlie's father constantly causes difficulties, admitting that motherhood changed her life and served as a wake-up call. She insists the CEO race isn't a competition, though Damon smugly calls it his coronation. They arrive at the dentist, where Alex introduces Damon merely as her assistant. Afterward, rather than heading home as agreed, Damon drives straight to Glenda's to pitch himself in secret, only to find Alex already there, having taken the train. Their fierce argument over who deserves the role suddenly shifts into a passionate hookup. The next morning, they catch each other trying to sneak out before dawn and laugh over their shared commitment phobia. Damon leaves her with a pen as a parting gift, noting it is his longest morning conversation with anyone. However, the truce is short-lived. When Alex takes a call from Glenda, she casually mentions she just slept with Atlas's new CEO. Damon protests that he should be in charge, but Alex states that promotions reward ability over feelings, accusing him of failing to see how the system crushes men before firing him on the spot as her first executive act. A newly unemployed Damon rides a lonely escalator while Atlas employees adoringly chant Alex's name. Covered in bird droppings after being targeted by pigeons, Damon seeks refuge at Sunny's house. Chris suggests consulting a solicitor friend from spin class who declares the dismissal to be fraudulent vetting and wrongful termination. Damon resolves to fight the case. Meanwhile, Atlas's legal counsel asks Alex if there are any liabilities, and she confesses to sleeping with Damon right before firing him, a disclosure her lawyer labels a catastrophic mistake. Despite Chris urging him to share details with the solicitor, Damon remains silent. When the legal teams meet, Atlas's attorney realizes Damon's side is unaware of the sexual encounter. Moved by his discretion, Alex confronts Damon to ask why he protected her, but her phone cuts the conversation short. Suddenly, Damon receives a call from Glenda, who informs him that he has been appointed CEO. Realizing that being in charge means occupying Alex's difficult position, Damon panics and begs not to leave the alternate reality just yet. Everything goes black and he crashes onto the pavement, waking up on a London street back in his original world. Returning to Atlas, a relieved Damon hugs a bewildered Felicity and looks for Alex. Ruby informs him that Alex has quit, prompting Damon to promise Ruby a long overdue promotion for her loyalty. After obtaining Alex's address, Damon publicly shames a colleague for making a sexist remark about the Guinness campaign, apologizes to the office, and thanks Glenda, stating she deserves better. Finally, Damon arrives panting at Alex's front door. Though Charlie tries to shut him out and Alex slams the door, Damon shouts through it, admitting her Guinness pitch was brilliant, confessing he had lied about reading it and acknowledging the insults he put her through. He begs her to name her terms for a return. Alex demands the lead creative role, equal pay, and his corner office. Damon agrees without hesitation and they step out together.